broke it.
The Border Counties organisers had taken the decision to run the two-wheel drive cars at the front of the field in reverse order seeding. Better road conditions was the thinking, however no one would have banked on snow. Many of the two-wheel drive crews struggled in sweeping the roads. Two crews entered and two crews finished, a rare record on a day like this. Taking second in class, Scott Peacock and Robin Neal spent their day stopping at other competitors' incidents to make sure they were okay. This left them second in class.
Slow and steady. We only had a really good go in that last stage. We just wanted to get a finish today. Just a bit of fun.
Oh, was there strategy being used today?
No, just slow. No strategy. Where's that word?
In 2 minutes up the road, 2018 junior champion Neil Cowan Jr., with Thomas Bruce alongside, would take a comfortable class win after a clean and drama-free run.
Any spins?
I had a few. Second stage and then the fifth stage there, I had quite a big nearly in the ditch job, so I just backed off after that, and now we're here, so it's good.
So the wee car's running well, not a mark on it, ready to go for the next time?
Aye, hopefully a wee bit of re-prep and on we go, some late nights, and it'd be good.
So how wet and slippy was it?
Very, very. But it was good.
After James Campbell's Sunbeam dropped out with axle failure, it was left to Martin Crombie and David Law to take the class win. They were lucky to finish at all, the bad weather playing havoc with the Sunbeam's electrics, leaving them with a misfire all day.
Broke down at the start line this morning and it's been running like a bag of bolts ever since, so tried our best and we're here. First time out in it, first time in the back wheel drive in the snow, and so I'm happy.
What happened in the start line?
We're just pulling up at the start line and it broke down. I took the plugs out and cleaned them, and away it went, but it kept, you can hear it yourself, it's running not the best.
Some achievement to get here though.
Well done, we're delighted.
Good stuff.
There was carnage in Class 3 with Ryan Ingram, Caroline Carslaw, Nikki Addison and Jude McDonald all failing to make the finish. Almost joining that list with a puncture and an off in SS1, Fraser Smith and Ian McDougall were the sole survivors in their Civic after a tough day, taking the Ravenel Award for Joint Best Improvement in Seeding and Top Junior.
It was good, just try to get a finish.
Was it slippy out there?
Very.
No big problems?
I had a puncture after stage 1, but don't know where I got it. Stayed up till the end of the stage, so.
Aye.
It was along the road section it started going, really, we got a puncture, so.
Oh, road section, oh, you're lucky, Jamie. Oh. So, do you enjoy the day?
Different.
But you'll come back again?
Aye.
Now you're an expert in snow.
Miles away from an expert.
Well done. Good spell.
Cheers.
Good spelling.
We would lose Fraser McNichol with power steering failure and the O'Kane family with engine problems at the start of the final stage. Struggling with a down on power engine, Douglas Watt and Ian Parker then had to deal with a slipping clutch for the last 2 miles of the final stage. They survived to grab second in class. Three and a half minutes up the road and also top SRC two-wheel drive, Paddy Munro and Keir Beaton had a great day out in their Mark II. Paddy even having time to jokingly complain about the dust on the stages. Maybe he needs to clean his glasses.
We were just complaining about the dust all day. That was our problem.
Was the wrong choice of tyres for dust?
Black and round we go with, black and round.
How was it? Was it really bad?
No, it was fine. It was grand. Right, yeah.
Are you the right amount of power for these conditions?
Aye, I think it seemed to work. It seemed to work for us, so we're here, so that's a bonus.
Well, yeah.
We would lose Ernie Lee and his partner Patricia Milligan in SS4, falling victim to a deep ditch. Ian Milne had his wife Dawn in the hot seat for the first time, and despite picking up a 5-minute road penalty, they took second in class. And new to the historic class, Tom Coftry's Gallant was having a much easier time in the difficult conditions, taking a class win and a solid 23rd overall.
Very slippy for a big car like this, especially when it wasn't handling too well.
But your skill came through and overcame those problems, yes?
I think that's called experience.
Well, you've got it back here in one bit, which a lot of people haven't they?
Oh, correct, yes. But we did that last weekend in the Malcolm Wilson and failed to get to the finish. We went OTL after the last stage, so...
Oh, so you're in new territory here?
I am in new territory. If we get to the top of that hill, we've broken new ground.
We would lose Luke McLaren and Kevin Gray from Class 6, Luke with an off in his Civic and Kevin with a mechanical failure on his Swift. Third in her debut as a Fiesta driver, Lindsay Henderson had long-time co-driver Tom Hind back in the hot seat. They spent the day learning about the 1 litre turbocharged car, which had last seen action in the JWRC. At the top of the class, a titanic battle had broken out between the Fiesta of Bobby Mitchell and Shannon Turnbull and the Swift of the returning Tuer brothers. The more powerful Swift had the advantage up the big Kielder hills, but Bobby was combating that with some excess bravery in the twisty downhill bits. And at the end of the event, it would be the Suzuki crew who would win by just 2 seconds. Hopefully that battle will continue all year.
Yeah, the day's been very interesting. Obviously, as everybody knows, the snow at the start has made it very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really difficult. To be honest, we weren't really enjoying it until the last 2 stages. It was nice to get 2 sort of good, clean runs. The stages are kind of a lot grippier now, so they actually kind of go for it, and it's really good fun. So it was nice to get those in, but unfortunately we lost by 2 seconds.
We've had a nightmare with a steaming up car most of the day. Those last 2 stages were the first 2 I could actually see most of the time. So, but fair play to the guys for putting the rally on. Those last 2 stages were fantastic, and the marshals, what can I say today? I mean, that was horrendous. I mean, you know, fair play to everyone involved in this, and I think we've won the class, so we're pretty happy. Like, so it's like,
How did your car go?
fantastic. It's too wide for this morning in the snow, following all these narrow things around. We need the 4-wheel drives in front of us to make the right size ruts. But those stages this afternoon that have been double used, and then Ogre Hill were just it was in its element, and we didn't, like I say, we didn't steam up in the last 2, so that was a real bonus.
Off into a ditch in SS1 set the tone for Duncan MacDonald and Gordon Chalmers. They got back out, only to retire later on. Rue Campbell and Michael Motes took the survival strategy option to finish 4th in class in the Sunbeam. Two minutes of road penalties plus 4 stages of misfires due to water in the electrics meant it was a rough day out for Paul McErlane and Paul McGahan. Paul's regular co-driver Niall McKenna missing this event due to just having become a new dad. Alistair Brearley had actually won the Border twice in the 1970s. Now he was enjoying a comeback with Paul Barbet alongside in his very tidy Mark II Escort. Second in class as he reacquainted himself with the rallying game was a solid result. And taking the class by 4 minutes, reigning class champions Stephen and Mary Wood were back with more power to try and fight the big escorts. A clean run while everyone else struggled left them to open their account with maximum class points.
Started off slow but got quicker and quicker each stage, I think, so I really enjoyed it. No problems with the car. I didn't think I had brakes in the first stage, but it was just the snow and ice.
So this has been an experience. You put this down for?
I prefer the slippery conditions, to be honest. It kind of maybe slows the faster boys down, you know.
We would lose Jamie McIntyre and Jerry Bryden in their big escort after a big puddle drowned the engine. Jamie fresh from a second place in the Le Mans Classic. Kielder, and a first time into the woods, was maybe a bit of a culture shock after the French tarmac. Gordon Murray and David O'Brien were making a return to the event where they suffered a monster accident 2 years ago, which saw them out of the sport for a long time. It was an understandably safe run to second in class for the Perth Motorhomes car. Having taken the Autolux Award for Best Prepared Car at the start of the event, Ian Wilson and Chris Williams were determined to keep the car in the same shape as it had started this time out. A deliberately steady run saw them take the class win, but just lose out on the top two-wheel drive by 2 seconds from Paddy Munro.
Mission accomplished. We did have a wee push in that last one there. Stephen was creeping up, as Chris told me. First time of day he's gave me a wee hint that we need to get the fit down. And we had a wee charge and actually quite surprised ourselves in the last stage. So good. I think, according to you, I think we've missed out on second two-wheel drive by about 2 seconds, so we'll see. But I tell you what, it wasn't about the result today. We're delighted that we're going to pick up some points, but I'm just really happy to get the car to the finish, gather a wee bit of confidence and we'll move on.
5 cars would start and 5 would finish. Quite a good achievement on a day like this. Rounding out the finishers, Andy Chalmers and Martin McCabe had a bad day out. The car's throttle not responding 100% of the time, leaving them down on performance. Fourth in the Cup at the finish, Paul Collins and Robert Wood were one of the many crews to suffer a 2-minute road penalty. This left them a minute and a half back from championship sponsor Mike Motes. Also with a road penalty as well as an exhaust manifold problem, Mike was happy to be third at the finish. Second at the finish, four-wheel drive new boys Max and Callum Redpath had a day of learning in their Impreza. The former junior champions surviving a brief off in the last stage to finish just over a minute back from Cup winners Alex Perry and Fraser Skeen. Having abandoned the Skoda Felicia at the end of last year, the switch to Subaru power was clearly a good one for Alex and Fraser. A cup win and 5th in class, making it a solid day out. We should also take the time to mention the Evo crew of Kevin Downs and Richard Wardle. 8th in class and 35th overall, they were the joint winners of the Best Improvement in Seeding Award, after a good run.
He's broke it.